put short
Rick,
pants
Rick,
on them in the winter and long pants on them in the summer.
I'm going live right now, Rick. Rick, Rick, Rick.
Is
You know we
Freeway on?
live now. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
All right.
Bless. You're back again on the program experience. Got my brother with me. It's the key.
Can't.
So you got
Let me
the best of
do it.
both
Hey,
worlds
Troy.
up in here.
Troy, you froze up a little bit. Welcome, another edition of Major Key Monday. We're doing this live on the Troy Graham Experience. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button so everybody can get their notifications. We're going to do a interview today for Major Key Monday. That's why we're 2 hours a little early. But we have Rick Glaser in the building, who needs no introduction. We all already know he holds no punches. We're expecting also Freeway Rick Ross in the building. We're going to talk about a lot of different things going on. I believe we have Mr. Glaser on for 30 minutes, Rick Ross for a little bit longer. But Troy, are you back in the building?
Yes. How does my audio sound now? Is it better or is it still skipping?
It sounds a lot better. Absolutely.
A lot better.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I keep on going then, man. When is keep on going.
All right. So we already know Rick Glaser. Thank you again for coming on. We've had you on a couple times. Also, you actually go on and do interviews with other content creators that we're actually close with as well. You're definitely outspoken. You don't hold back any punches. So briefly, because again, somebody must be living under a rock if they don't know who you are. But just a brief description of who you are, so that people know if they don't know you by now.
I've been in boxing. I just observed or celebrated. I don't know which way you say it, but I just celebrated 31 years. January 1st that I've been in boxing full time, and it's all good. I've been international agent, broker, and consultant. I'm a New York State Boxing Hall of Fame inductee for what I've done in the boxing business, and for 31 years. The only gloves I ever had on were winter gloves. And I'm an elector at the Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York, which means I'm a voting member. Is what it means.
Gotcha.
And I hope someday be inducted myself in the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota.
Gotcha. And some of the best names that you've worked with to date, just to give people an idea. I know. I'm asking you to go down a rabbit hole, but nevertheless.
Wow. Paul Spadafora worked with Roy Jones for his Calzaghe fight. I was the matchmaker for the show. I worked with Don King for 13 years as his go-to guy. Joseph King Kong Albeco, world bantamweight champion. I mean, the list goes on and on. Julian Jackson, Simon Brown, Frankie Randall, King Arthur Williams was IBF World Cruiserweight champ at the time. Hector Camacho, Roberto Duran. I mean, I worked with Larry Holmes. I mean, Lionel Butler. The list goes on. The list goes on and on. I forget sometimes. Sometimes people remind me. I ran into a fighter in the lobby one time at the MGM, and he comes up to me. And he says, "Don't you remember me?" I says, "No." You look familiar. It was a fighter I worked with right at the beginning of my career, and he quit boxing because he fell in love, and he was like 8 or 9-0, but I didn't even remember him. Now well, as soon as he mentioned his name, I remembered him, of course. But boy, oh boy, it's been a long list. Let me tell you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you said he fell in love with quit. Yeah,
he fell in love with quit
love.
boxing. She made him get a 9 to 5. So her father was a maintenance manager at a big industrial plant, and he made him his assistant. He was going to retire in about 5 years, and then he was going to take over the maintenance as the manager of the maintenance, and he did, and he got a great job and a big pension, and it's a lot more stable than boxing. Freeway's
well,
not.
I tell you what,
Freeway's not.
No, he's not here yet. No, he's not here yet. But it sounds like he saved you a lot of time. And I had a question I always want to ask you because people know about boxers, of course, trainers, managers, and of course they know about the promoters. How does someone get into matchmaking? What are the steps you would take to become a matchmaker?
It's the hardest part of the business. You got to know the fighters, you got to have the connections, you have to know the science of the game, and you have to know the inner workings of the game. It's like the hardest thing to get involved with. I took it on in the beginning because the guy I was working with, Mike Akery, who brought me in the business, said to me, you'll make a great matchmaker. You know the science, you know this, you know that. He went down the list, and I worked with Mike until 2011 when he basically retired. He passed away exactly a year ago today. God rest his soul. But in the meantime, here I am. So it's a hard part of the business. That's all I know, and I do it internationally. I do it all over the world on a daily basis, so it's even more difficult. Hey, I don't know where Freeway is. I don't understand it. I just talked to him. God, I don't understand. I just talked to him. He said he's coming on.
That's a great segue right there, because I know we have DJ Sean Rebel who will introduce himself in just a moment, but with Freeway Rick Ross, right? So obviously he's got a very entrepreneurial mind. I've watched interviews with you guys before, and I've watched interviews with him on his own as well. And obviously you've been on the platform with us before as well. But so at this point, he seems very eager to obviously make his name known again, put his brand out there. And he reached out to you. I heard him say, hey, I met Rick Glaser. He blew me away with how direct he is and the information that this guy has, right? So knowing everything that and such, like you just stated, your history, right? What do you feel his timeline is looking like as far as, because obviously he has drive, so it all depends on the individual. But how far do you think he makes it?
Well, he's got six. We signed up 5 fighters. There's a 6th fighter he already has that he advises that's not under the Team Freeway because it wasn't formed when Team Freeway. He was working with him before Team Freeway was physically incorporated, right. So it's under his own name. So we actually working with 6 fighters. What do I think? I think that this is going to have a 2 to 3 year timeline to come up to snuff with the big boys in the business of advising fighters and brokering deals and stuff like that. It's not going to happen overnight. You need a couple real good fighters for people to take note. We're talking to a few guys right now. 2 of them in particular are very good, and with the business will take note if they sign with us. And I think one of the 2, I believe, really will. The other guys, I don't know. I'm not that confident yet, but he's a quality person, so we'll see. It's a funny thing about Freeway. He really likes boxing, and it's his favorite actual sport, and tennis, by the way.
Yeah.
But also he has an admiration. It's a funny thing about Freeway. He has something in common. He's a lot of things in common with me because we think alike. And I was on a talk show once, and somebody says to me, "Is Don King your hero?" I said, "Absolutely not. Why? Would he be my hero?" He says, "Well, because you're in the boxing business, and he's Don King." I says, "No." I says, "My hero are people that I could never do their jobs. Police officers, firemen, doctors, stuff like that. I could never be those things. Those are my heroes." Well, Freeway said the same thing to me. He says, "I really admire fighters and respect fighters because that's something I couldn't do." So you got to respect that about him, that's how he looks at things. And I look at things the same way. There's so many things about Freeway that reminded me of myself and how I think, and the psychology of being the same person every day. I'm the same guy every day. He's the same guy every day. He doesn't yell and scream. He doesn't wear a lot of jewelry. He doesn't wear any jewelry. And the biggest difference between him and I is he's been in the big house. I was supposed to be there. Gotcha. Okay, so it's like we just hit it off about everything, and that really helps. Mutual admiration, respect when you work with somebody is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds like you have a lot of respect for him, man. If you wanna jump off and see if he's having any issues with the stream, y'all to
Yep.
come
Let
back.
me
That'll
jump
be
off for a
that'll be
second.
cool,
Hold
Rick.
up, and I'll tell you. Okay,
All right,
back to you.
all right. And while we wait for Rick Ross and Rick Glaser to come back, we do have DJ Sean Rebel in the house along with the mighty Major Keys, and of course you have me, Mr. Humble.
Luke, what's
So
going on,
What's
brother?
good, family?
go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Introduce yourself, man.
Super DJ Sean Rebel Organic Radio Show. Hashtag Organic Radio Show. And you see my name on the billboard right here, DJ Sean Rebel. And anybody want to hit me up, I'm at Gmail. So real easy to get to. I'm not unfriendly to anybody. Been DJing for 38 years and do a lot of production with different artists and as well as write and other things, Music is my love, so that's where I'm at with it. What's good, everybody?
You gotta at least name drop a few people, man. You gotta at least name drop.
Before they were big, Rough Ends, Drew Hill. I worked with old school cats like Stacy Lattisaw, Johnny Gill. I had a group, or should I say a squad, before what you see behind me. I love Wu-Tang. Before Wu-Tang even came out, I had a group of people, 57 members, just so y'all know, called Shabazz Productions, which Troy Graham, you were a part of that. So if you remember how big it was super big. And it's major to talk about it because through the Shabazz Productions that I had, a lot of those people went off to be superstars and make their careers happen and stuff like that. So salute to them. It also segues into tonight's show because you're talking to Rick Glaser that knows Rick Ross. Well, I had the opportunity to deal with the Ricky Rose because of Shabazz Productions back in '92. Before he really blew up, I made a couple tracks with him as well. And I worked with a lot of people in the industry. Interscope Records was my label. So I have a lot of insight and behind the scenes. And I'm a rebel for a reason. The reason why everybody call me rebel is because even though you may see me smiling on Organic Radio Show, I really don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like doing a lot of stuff. But I realized with the new age of technology, we need to be out here more in front so people know who we are. Because you may meet me on the street and see me and be like, yo, I don't know that cat. But you see me on the show, and you're like, oh, I know who he is now. And there may be an opportunity for us both to build and try to get something going on. I like helping people. So that's my main goal for the Organic Radio Show, is to put you on the platform for another platform. So whoever out there can see it can get their just due, and I give flowers while they're on the show doing interviews. So that's who I am. That's what I do, and I've been doing it for a long time. I'm known as the OG of the DJs. So anybody out there like DJing, I like doing that too. I like the turntablism. I like beat juggling and scratching. That's my perfection. But I also like making beats. So you would call me DJ Scratch's protege, because that's one of my favorite DJs is DJ Scratch, because he's been behind the scenes just like me, doing a lot of stuff for a lot of artists. And even produced Busta Rhymes. A lot of people didn't even know he produced Busta Rhymes. So there he is. Shout out to Rick Glaser. What's going on?
All right, I'm back. And Rick Glaser is back in the house along with myself. So go ahead, Rick. Are you on mute, Rick?
You lost him.
Yeah. Hold on. He'll come back on real quick. We're just having a little technical difficulties. We'll come right back on. Major Key, I think he stepped away for a second. Well, hold on.
I'm back.
I think this is okay. Yeah, Major's back along with Rick as well. So there we go. Rick.
Yeah, but
There you go. I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
yep. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. What's the news?
He's coming on.
Okay.
He
Well,
was always coming on, just a little late.
yeah. Well, tell me this. Tell me this, man. You know, based on your history and based on his history, did you ever see yourselves actually meeting or even forming this partnership? Did you ever see that? Ever,
Well, I never thought about it. So
that's what I mean.
yeah, I never thought about it because he's out. Boxing's a small world, but he's in LA. I didn't have any connections with him. Didn't know him, and all of a sudden one day the phone rang. I'm talking to this guy, and he introduced us. And the next thing I know is I'm in San Antonio, sitting there looking at him straight in the eye and talking and getting things worked out.
Okay.
You know,
Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second, Rick, if you don't mind, right?
sure.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you said the only difference between Rick Ross is that he went to the big house and you were supposed to. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I got indicted for racketeering in '89. It's no secret. Feds indicted me for racketeering, for loan sharking, extortion, bookmaking, odometer rollbacks on used cars, a protection racket, a little bit of everything. And the FBI erred in my case. From the beginning, they said I was violent and dangerous, settled all disputes with violence. So when they kept throwing that up in the judge's face, the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI in pre-trial hearings, we didn't get to a trial. So I said to my lawyer, I said, this is all bullshit. This is not true. There's the man. So I said, it's not true. So what happened was basically my lawyer made the judge a deal. He says, if you could produce 3 people that said they were bodily harmed or verbally threatened by my client, he says, I'll give you my client for 5 years, okay, in federal prison. If not, he gets probation and a fine. The judge looked at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI and says, you got 90 days to come up with 3 witnesses. 90 days passed. Not only couldn't they come up with 3 witnesses, not only couldn't they come up with 2, they couldn't even come up with 1. They had 0. So that was in early July of '90. He told me to come back in September. He told us to come back in September. He's going to sentence us. And I got 5 years probation, which is maximum under law for probation. Parole, you can get lifetime on parole. But you got a $50,000 fine. And that was the end of it. And then I entered boxing through getting convicted. That's a funny story because after I was on probation, the federal judge said to the probation officer giving me jerking me around. So we went back to court to get it, not the time reduced, but so it wasn't as restrictive. They'll make me go down 3 times a week, piss in the bottle. I had no history of even drinking. It's ridiculous. Never had a drink in my life, let alone drugs. The judge looked at me and said, listen, you've been robbing this community long enough. It's about time you give back. Give me a reason to make you go once a month instead of 3 times a week. I says, okay. So we came back a month later. And I started with the kids in the PL gym, the young kids, young boys. They didn't have supporting fathers. And I started working with them. The next thing I know is a couple of the kids wanted to turn pro, and I got in the boxing business. That's how I got in. So when I say jokingly at times, the federal government been putting me in boxing. Jokingly, but it's true. That's what it started. And that was 1990, early 90. That was late 90. And then that was September of 91. I entered, January 1st of 91, I entered boxing. I made the decision to enter boxing on a full-time basis. And 6 months later, I was full-time. The boxing overcame. I was a car dealer too, besides all that other stuff I was doing. And just everything overcame everything. So here I am today, and there's Freeway Rick Ross, the legend himself.
Yeah, and 2 things before I bring Brother Freeway on, and thank you for that story. How you doing, brother? Rick Glaser, do you still have that horseshoe?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, brother. I'm great. How you doing? Yeah, man. I guess you missed that joke, Rick.
I'm good.
Where
I'm
I asked you
good.
for the whole.
Overworked and underpaid.
Aren't we all, brother? You looking good, man. You looking good, man. As far as that hoodie, man, you gotta make me a, you
I
gotta get
feel
me a
good. I
4X
feel
in that
good.
hoodie. Okay, yeah, Rick. You gotta get me a 4X
Hey,
in
they
that
don't make
hoodie, Rick.
4Xs, man.
You gotta
I'm
work
gonna have to
on it,
custom
brother.
make.
You gotta work
I'm
on
gonna
it.
have to custom make that joint. I got you. I
That's
got
right.
you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what, man? I'm glad you're on tonight, man. I was gonna start it off, but I don't want you to go back to the beginning and all that because everybody knows that story, right? I want you to start off by just telling the
Absolutely.
people
Absolutely.
what actually drove your spirit that hard for you to actually teach yourself how to write, work on a case to actually show your lawyer what to do, to lead him to help you get out, and then come out with a firm purpose and a positive purpose. Because
Well,
as
if
we
I didn't
know.
do that,
Hmm. Go ahead, Rick.
I'm listening.
There's a delay. Go ahead, Rick. Rick.
had I not done that, I wouldn't have my two babies that I. If I didn't learn how to read and write, I wouldn't have my two babies that I got right now. That says it all. I mean, right now, they my world. Um, I've never had a chance to raise kids. This is my first time, even though I have 6 other kids, adult children right now. I didn't had an opportunity to get to mold somebody and teach them. So that was something that I always wanted to do. But if you stay in federal prison for life, you don't get to touch women no more. I mean, you miss a lot of the fine things of life. I mean, just as simple as being able to go and take a shower whenever you want to, or to wear what kind of tennis shoes you want, or to eat what kind of food you want. All those things are taken away from you. You only get 300 minutes a month on the telephone. So, if you get a federal life sentence, you lose a lot. So, um, I wanted those things back.
Okay. And now let's fast forward to present day. Now you own a couple of businesses. You manage a couple of fighters, right,
Yes.
Rick? Okay.
Uh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can
But
you
there's
hear
a
me?
delay. Yeah. There's a there's like a delay between us. But
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I own quite a few businesses right now. I have 2 books that I put out, which I'm very proud of. To come from being illiterate to now having my own book out, and not only that, I have my own publishing company. I can publish other people's books beside myself. I'm also in the marijuana industry. I got in the lottery here in California, and I won a dispensary license here. Um, I also go around the country speaking to the youth. I've been to probably about 20 different jailhouses around the country speaking, and just trying to give back for some of the things that I know that I.
You want to jump in here, Major, real
I don't
quick,
know
and ask your
what the
question?
connection.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time, Freeway. This is Major Key Boxing. Yeah, man. So first thing I wanted to say was because number one, I know that Mr. Glaser already touched on the fact that you love tennis. And I can see that. My second favorite is tennis. Boxing is my first love. As far as sports, but I can see it because it's the one-on-one combat, right? So I can see how you probably got into that.
Absolutely.
Right, and so it's less about a team, it's more about just you, and based on your background, it's always been about you surviving, with everything that you were surrounded by in your neighborhood, and how you kind of rose above that, and then the school that you went to, the fact that you met Venus and Serena at such a young age. So tell us about that, how what drives you when it comes to boxing first.
Well, one thing about tennis, when I was growing up, I was always kind of a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that I outworked most of the guys on the different teams, on football teams and basketball teams. But when you're a little guy, you seem to get overlooked. And when I ran into tennis, it was something where you stood on your own 2 feet. You couldn't hide behind anybody. It was just you and your opponent. The way I had grown up, where other people would overshadow me because of the fact that I was a small guy.
Gotcha. All right, that makes sense. And then
that was pretty much the same thing that happened when I got into the drug business. In the drug business, you kind of stand on your own feet because it comes down to how much money you're able to save.
Right. And one thing that I like that I've watched a couple of your interviews, and one thing that you said was that you didn't learn how to read because you didn't need it. All you needed to learn was math, right? And you were pretty good at that. And then also there was one saying that you said, which I really liked, was that you said your gift is pretty much inspiring people. I think he's having some technical issues right now, but hopefully he hears what us. Yeah, he fell off.
That's all right, man. We keep flowing. No, he'll jump back on. But yeah, Rick, before Rick came on, you told a story of how you got into boxing and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to tell you, you sound like an uncle I have. There he goes. And you have that horseshoe still that saved you from all of that?
That's no big deal. Listen, I was ready to do time. It was no big deal. I know a lot of people, and it wasn't. It's if I had to do it, I had to do it. I mean, just when you do something, you get involved in something, you know what the potential consequences are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I was always willing to accept my fate, no matter what it was. So it's something you live with. When I first got indicted, the great lie by my mother was, being Jewish, she goes, "Oy vey, what do I tell my friends? Just tell them I'm not a doctor or a lawyer." So that's what happened. So it was no big deal. It was a chapter in my life. That was then. This is now. As Rick said, that was then. This is now. That was a lifetime ago. Now life's great. It's having a lot of difficulties there. There's something, the browser is spinning there.
DJ, everybody's back in?
No, Freeway's not. There's something spinning with that browser.
Okay. Yeah, because once he comes back on, DJ Rebel, you jump in and ask your questions, all right?
Yeah, because I got to hit the street here. I got a friend coming over for this one. Coming over. It's been scheduled for 2 weeks. I forgot about it. Now there's DJ Rebel Sean OG himself.
What's going on, Rick?
There's Freeway right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, my question for you would be to both you guys. Going into the future now, what's the end game? What's the end goal for the future? I know it's boxing. I know you've been doing a lot of different things now. So where are we going so that way we can follow? Because both of you guys are a big inspiration across the world and on the map in different ways, musically, sports, and also in grinding and hustling. Just the spirit of hustling alone makes us want to do things differently and think differently because of you two guys. So I just want to know what the end game is, because I've been studying for a long time, man. And you know what I'm saying? You guys really, I'm glad you're here. That's all I can say. I'm glad we can give you a flower while you're here. And I'm glad that you guys are giving back to the community. So I just want to know what the end game is.
I think that's a question. It said something Freeway.
It's choppy. About. It's choppy.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of here.
It was choppy. I couldn't understand what.
Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Freeway, take over.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Bye-bye.
Okay, cool. Right. Yo, can you hear me, Rick?
You was choppy. I
Yeah.
couldn't understand what you were saying.
No. That was DJ Rebel. Yeah, because there's a delay. I think I caught most of it. As a matter of fact, DJ Rebel, go ahead and ask him the question again because I don't want to mess it up. Sorry about that.
I was just
I can
saying
hear
that you guys can you,
It's still choppy. It's still choppy, Rebel.
can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you clear now.
All right, cool. I was saying that you and the other Rick was definitely an influence on the industry. You guys are hustlers and doing a lot of great things for the community. I was just trying to figure out what your end game is, or what's your next goal.
My end game is to uh uplift people from my community who, like myself, has been misled to believe uh, that we have no control over our circumstances. At one time, I didn't believe that I had control over my circumstances, but now I know that uh, if I take my time, if I sit down and I study and I analyze the situation, that I can come up with solutions. And I want to come up with solutions for my community so that uh, my community can do better than what it's been doing. I think that the people who's been leading our community has been leading us down a one-way street. Uh, with even myself, uh, the reason that I wanted to become a drug dealer was because uh, I saw the movie Superfly, and after I saw that movie, uh, I thought that that was the life that I wanted to be living. And now I know that I could have chose any life that I wanted. I could have been a boxer or airplane pilot. I didn't have to listen to my environment to tell me what I was going to be. That I could have decided for myself what I wanted to be, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm literally taking myself and I mold myself into being whatever character in whatever circumstance that I want to be in. And I know that all I have to do is surround myself with the right people. I have a saying that when I go to schools and I tell the kids, I said that if me and you are making a cake and we use the same ingredients and cook it at the same temperature, that our cake is going to be identical. So what I try to do is I try to surround myself with intelligent people, and that's why I was so thrilled to be to working with Rick Glaser, because in my personal opinion, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to argue the fact, uh, but the proof of being the pudding. I think that Rick Glaser is probably one of the smartest men on the planet, and I don't say that lightly. Um, I think that his mind is brilliant, and I'm glad that he's allowing me uh, uh, to share his mind.
That's
That's
what's up.
awesome, man. That's awesome.
Definitely. Let me jump in here real quick. Rick, I know this was a couple of years ago. I saw you on another platform. I saw you on another podcast, and I just didn't like the way they handled you and how they handled your time. I'm not going to say the name, but the host said something that I just thought was disrespectful. He said he had to check you because he's like the voice of boxing or whatever, and he doesn't know why you're really here. But you handled it real calm and real respectfully. But ever since that day, I said if I ever spoke to you, I was gonna ask you, how many times you run into foolishness like that still?
Well, a lot of people they look at me and I've had people tell me, well, Jay-Z couldn't make it, 50 Cent couldn't make it. What makes me think that I can make it? And one of the things that I tell people is that I'm different from everybody they ever met. I'm one of the few people, especially black men in America, that made multi-millions and didn't have a white guy behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Can I back off for that, Troy?
Yes, please. Go ahead, brother. Go.
This was before we started having technical difficulties on all sides. I was saying this. One of the things that I heard you say on a different podcast, which actually resonated well with me because is the way that I like to think. Is you feel like one of your greatest skills is inspiring people and make them want to be better, and so you could just fall back and let them do what they do,
and at the end of the day, it benefits everybody, right? And people don't understand. People don't understand that skill. Like you know what I mean. In a way, it's psychology, but in a way, like you feel that you feel like you've done something, and it's something that makes you leave the scene like, hey, I helped that person. They also, yeah, it helped me, but it also helped that person, and you walk away feeling good about yourself, right? Am I lying?
Yeah, it's like cheating. Say for instance, like Anthony Peterson right now. I've been helping him since we met. Matter of fact, Serafina introduced us about 3 or 4 months ago, and I really get a kick out of helping him solve his problems. No matter what they are, I get a kick out of helping him. But at the same time, I'm also feeding my ego, because my ego is like, how many people can you help? And I'm glad you brought that up, because that brings up a total different mindset. Most of the guys, and especially black guys who are rich and famous, uh, they take offense to helping other people. When they get theirs, they say things like, I got mine, you get yours. Well, I'm totally the opposite about that. I feel fortunate that somebody put me up on the game, because I understand that nothing I've ever done, that I was the first one to ever do it. I've never done that. So everything that I've ever done before in my life, somebody taught me how to do it. From selling drugs to introducing me to drugs for the first time. Somebody put the cocaine on the table for the first time I ever saw it. I never saw cocaine, didn't know what it looked like, and he introduced me to cocaine. And I understand that everything that I've ever done, somebody introduced me to it. And pretty much now, I have Rick Glaser, who's introducing me into boxing, and he's gonna create a monster.
Mm-hmm. That's
Nah,
a great mindset, because you need. I always say, the way up the ladder of success, you need a foundation beneath you, and you need to help the person above you. Because when you fall, you need a foundation there to hold you up, right?
Absolutely.
And if you're not helping that person above you up, you ain't moving up, right? So it goes all ways. Yeah, I feel that, though. I appreciate that answer.
Thank you. And with me, I never wanted to be famous. When I sold drugs, I never, I've never went out and bought a fancy car. I just never cared for the limelight. But I don't mind pushing somebody else out there if that's what they want, and let them be in the limelight. And I believe in boxing, these guys really need to be in the limelight, because there's nobody who's really displaying these guys as entertainers, and that's what they really are. They're really entertainers. It's just that the entertainment that they're doing is a brutal business.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I actually really wanted you to come on the show also. You have this purposeful, positive energy about you, right? I don't really give a damn about the history, because that is exactly what it is, right? It's
Right.
it's the past for a reason. So I saw you on another platform, and you were talking about, I don't want you to say any names or anything like that. I don't want you to, you were talking about how you get calls from boxers who are shelved and can't get fights and so forth right now. Break that down, man, and help us to understand how the hell does a boxer not get fights when there's so many fights to be made? How does that happen? And why would a business do that? Why would a promoter do that in the first place?
The first thing what we got to understand is when the managers become bigger stars than the fighters, that's an issue in my book. When the manager can't answer the telephone, can't go to meetings, that's a problem. You know, one of the things that you'll know about Rick Glaser, he answers his phone 24 7 days a week, and I pride myself on doing the same thing. You might could call me 4 hours during a day. You might catch 4 hours during the day that I'm asleep, and I may not answer my phone because I might not hear it. I might be too tired. But most of the time, I'm going to pick up my phone, because I believe that every time my phone rings, it's an opportunity for me, or it's an opportunity for one of my guys, or opportunity for somebody I know. And I constantly pick up my phone. But a lot of these people in these industries, and not just the boxing industry, because I dip in the music, I dip in the music, also the movies, and I find the same problem that the managers and the agents become so big that they no longer answer the telephone.
Yeah, how do you stop yourself from becoming that guy that swells up, that gets a big head like that, that said, well, I'm at a certain point now, I could actually shine all the light on me. How do you stop yourself from being that guy?
Well, I never wanted to be the guy with the light. The light, my work ethic, my morals, my principles is what made the light shine on me. Um, when you look back, if you look back at my history, I'm probably the only guy alive that have. I'm probably the only person to name themselves after me. Did you
Mm.
hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. I think Troy Graham fell off. Rebel, did you have a question? Because I got a question too, but I know that you haven't spoken in a minute.
Um, right now, I just want to know, since everybody's on here, and I see a lot of people in the chat room. I want a free way to let them know where we can find those books at, because I follow you, man, and I need everybody to give you your flowers and find out where you got these books at, so they can see what's going on. They do need to know your past a little bit, but they can see you alive and well and doing great for yourself in the future. So that's the inspiration to me as well, man. I've always been a fan, no matter what. So I want the fans out there that's looking now to check you out as well, by checking out where they can find your book at. So please drop that information for everybody.
Okay, thank you. They can get my book, freewayRickyRoss.com. Also, my documentary. I was the #1 documentary on Netflix for a year and a half. They can get that documentary on YouTube. I think they're charging for it. Uh, but they can get all my books, my T-shirts, and all my merchandise off of my website, freewayRickyRoss.com. Uh, please go on there and buy. Don't go to Amazon because Jeff Bezos keeps all the money, if you don't mind. Uh, but right now, to be who I am right now, for me, I mean, and I want you to understand, I was a kid who thought I was too dumb to learn how to read and write. So for me to go from uh, being too dumb to read and write to reading law books to be able to debate the law with my judge and with my lawyer. My lawyer graduated from Harvard University. My prosecutor went to Yale University. So these are some of the top colleges in the country. And here I am, dumb Ricky Ross, high school dropout who probably shouldn't have been in the sixth grade with less than a sixth grade education. I'm sitting in the courtroom and now I'm debating the law uh, with people who were considered scholars. So for me, it blew my mind. It totally baffled me. Like, damn, fool, what did you do with yourself? How did you cheat yourself out of life? Why did you allow yourself to be manipulated and doing the things and believing the things that you believe now? And so I had to do a total 360. I had to totally re-educate myself, reevaluate my principles, my morals, how I saw myself, and how I see my environment. I believe that if I'm like that, there's thousands and millions of other young kids out on these streets going to these public schools who the teachers don't really care if the kid learns or not. Only thing they're there for is to get their check and to get out of there. How many other ones are falling through the cracks? They could have been something special, because I know now I could have been something special had I had somebody to reach out and pull me through the cracks.
I want to ask a very important question to follow that up, right? Because since you started to dabble in boxing, right? There's something that I know Troy Grizzy is
Yep.
very passionate about. So am I. You know what I mean? Which is extending the Muhammad Ali Act and getting a little further along, right? To defend these boxers, right? So when they retire, after their last fight, they just stuck with whatever they're stuck with. If they didn't invest, they didn't invest, and that's that. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys suffer from CTE afterwards. So the reason I bring this up is because I see you're passionate about helping people, and I know whether it was in a positive or negative light, you have had a lot of politicians mention you in the past, and that's kind of the road to success with it. You got to lobby the politicians. Do you see yourself in the future potentially going out there and trying to lobby for for something that helps the boxers, trying to unionize them either in that way or trying to like, get them some type of safety net for after the sport?
Absolutely, absolutely. I plan on using my power to help the boxers as if they were my sons, if they was my little brother. I don't think that you never hear me use the word stable because I think that that's a derogatory word. I didn't graduate from high school, so I may not pronounce the words correctly, but I never look at my guys as stables, and because I believe that's for animals. I look at my guys as if they're my homeboys, and if you ever meet any of my home, matter of fact, I'm working on a documentary right now where all my friends from back in the days, I wanted them to tell their favorite Rick Ross story, because while we was working on the movie, the writer started telling me things that he was hearing from my friends, and he was like, "Man, it's like I keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again, and this message needs to be caught." So I started having all of my friends interviewed, and these boxers are going to be—they're my friends, and if it's somebody, and when I say friend, I don't use that word lightly. A friend is somebody that's in need. If they're in need and I got it, they got it. I'm not going to hesitate as long as it don't hurt me in no way. And I feel that financially, my financial situation is finna be so ginormous that I'll probably be able to help everybody that I see, and it won't hurt me at all.
Gotcha. Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, you're full of compassion. That's why you got a soul that's full of compassion. So even if you fall, man, you're still gonna pick yourself right back up and still push on through, as Bob Marley says. Push on through. Yeah, yeah.
Well, one of my
So,
said, "You still the champ as long as you get up off the campus. As long as
hallelujah.
when you quit, when you lay there and you say it's over, that's when it's over. And I'm not ready to quit. I'm not ready to lay down. Uh, um, I think that the world needs to see the way I see the world.
Mhm.
It's just so amazing. One of the books I read, it says there's two people that, and both of them are right. One who say you can and one who say you can't. I mean, say I can and one who say I can't, and they both right. Well, I want to be the one to teach everybody that they can.
Yeah, I'm over here laughing, but I'm listening to you because years ago, I don't really chase anybody down, but years ago, I met brother, Dick Gregory, right?
That's my man.
And yeah, he's a fast walker, brother. I was at the airport. By the time I got to him, I was all out of breath. I asked him to sign my paperwork, and he signed it, Brother Floyd, because I guess I sounded tired or whatever. And he said, I said, it's Troy. And you know what he said to me?
Uh,
He said, yeah, brother, he really should work on losing some weight. And then when I asked you about the 4X, you were like, nah, they don't make 4Xs in that way. But yeah, but that was just a transition for me to ask you about, are you uh, about a clothing line? Do you have a clothing line that's coming out, or is one out already?
I do have a clothing line. I'm working with one of the biggest manufacturers in the country. One of our fighters is going to be getting posted. They already accepted one of our guys. They're going to put him on all their posters. The company is called LA Apparel. The owners used to own American Apparel, and they switched up. But all my fighters will have their own clothing line. Um I'm going to teach these dudes how to do business. I'm not the guy who can tell whose jab is the best or how to throw a jab. My job in this operation is going to be to teach them how to do business, how to take a little bit of money and turn it into a lot of money, how to save their money, how to pick a house, which house to pick, which one is going to bring you the most value. Now, all the time they don't listen to me because I got guys right now, and some of them don't listen. You know, uh, but at the end of the day, they can never say that I didn't give them the advice.
So
I
let me ask this real quick,
yeah.
Troy. So when you say that, right? So sorry to interject, but since you already have a deal, and I know obviously they probably take a percentage out, like you were saying earlier. Just like YouTube takes out, like if you send a super chat, they take out 30%. You know what I mean? So the 400% of the super chat doesn't go to the content creator. But so I imagine Amazon is similar to that. But since you already have a deal with them as far as the books are concerned, does that make it easier for the apparel?
Yeah, well, all my stuff, when it's crazy how I got into the apparel game. When I got out of prison, if you get a chance to see my documentary, well, the marshals evicted, not evicted, but took my mom's house. My mom had took one of those loans, and I was doing really bad. Me and my girl and my two kids, we were homeless basically. We were living in a vacant apartment that one of my friends allowed us to stay in, and I went on the Joe Rogan show, and I was hoping that Joe Rogan would have gave me some money. He said he liked me, and he admired my story, and he admired my determination. Well, what he said on that show is he said that, Rick, you need a T-shirt, and I couldn't understand what he meant. But later on that day, I ran into a guy on the street. And he said he had a T-shirt idea for me, and eventually I did the deal with him. He gave me 100 T-shirts, and I sold all those shirts the same day, and that kicked my business off. I went back on Joe Rogan's show. He put one of the T-shirts on, and that week I had $18,000 in my PayPal. So
he didn't give you he didn't give you the fish. He taught you how to fish.
He did, and I appreciate that. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand, and I was mad when I left this show. I was like, man, how can a man have so much and not be willing to share it to somebody? Because one of the things that really baffled me about society right now is that nobody has reached out and try to pull me through the cracks, even though my track record shows that I handle money. I am very shrewd with my money. When I take a dollar, it reminds me of a TV show, Mark and Mindy, one time, and the guy say he was talking to Mars, and he said, "Man, they got this stuff called money, and they talk about stretching it and bouncing it, and I take a dollar and I stretch it. I if you get my dollar, you earned it. I just don't give away my money. So I'm very shrewd with my money, and it's just amazing that nobody has taken the opportunity or taken the chance to give me my opportunity that I've been working for. I had to basically get out here and grind it out. Selling T-shirt by T-shirt, book by book, and speaking engagements. I remember when they wanted to give me $200 for a speaking engagement. So I came up from the dirt.
No doubt.
And
Knowledge is a check that you cash in for wisdom.
I'm gonna steal that one. I'm definitely stealing that one. Yeah.
No, that's mine. That's mine. You can't use that, Troy. I said knowledge check. Knowledge is a check you cash in for wisdom.
Knowledge is a check.
Right now, the only thing that really makes me sad right now is that I know that the time for me to struggle is about over.
I want you to elaborate on that, but he's spinning right now. But I definitely want you to finish that statement.
That's actually I get it. I get it. It's basically like, yo, you never want to be a ripe tomato because all you could do is rot, bro. You know what I'm saying? You want to continue to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the struggle.
Right, bro. Right. He's coming right.
I need him to shine that light back on him too, man. He's starting to fade into the darkness.
Okay, I turned the light. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. You're good, man.
Yeah, you loud and clear.
What I was gonna say right before I went out is that one of the things that really sad me right now is that I'm never probably gonna get to struggle again. This is probably the end of my struggle, of my opportunity to struggle, because once I do it this time, everybody's gonna know, and it's crazy about people, when you're successful, everybody wants to help you. It's when you need help that nobody comes to your rescue, and it's sad that that's the way we are as human beings, but that's the way it is. But I feel like my time to struggle is almost done with, and I'll never get to do it again. I'll never get to go to the supermarket and sell T-shirts, and have to go to the nightclub and stand outside the club and sell books. those days are numbered, and it really sad to me that that I won't have that opportunity to do that anymore.
Well, Rick. You should also look at it like this. Now's your time to grow, man. And be more creative. And that's another challenge in life. Struggle is one thing, but have to constantly grow. And be creative. That's another challenge. And I'm pretty sure the Almighty would put it on you if you weren't ready for it, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, and you're absolutely correct. But my creativity though is not in actually creating things, but uh, my
And staying
activity
focused
is
is
in
part of it too.
how to create and creating opportunities for other people. I think that's where my creativity really comes in at. Uh, I'll have people around me that are great creators because I understand I'll be looking for those guys like myself. You know, on my case, one of the guys who testified against me, uh, he told the judge that when I recruited him, that I was looking for somebody like myself. Somebody who had played baseball. He was out of luck. He was at the park sitting on the stage, and he didn't get the contract offer that he thought he should have got, and he was down on his luck. And I walked up to him and I gave him an opportunity. So my goal in life is to give other people opportunities that I feel that, and I wish that somebody would have gave me.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to ask you this question before I close it out because I know you. Yeah, I know you promised us an hour's coming up on the hour mark, but I want to ask you about as far as I know, we talked about the clothing, the mansion, and the boxers. How about the music business? Are you, have you stepped into the music business any?
I am.
I don't
Uh,
know.
I got a call about 4 weeks ago from Dom Kennedy. I don't know if you know who he is, but him and Nipsey Hussle did a lot of songs together. He's one of the hottest independent artists here in LA, and he has the independent game down pretty good. So me and him are talking. I also had a conversation with Bootsy about 3 weeks ago. A lot of people don't know, but when Bootsy was in prison, I sent him books, and I also sent him some money, and with the understanding that it was possible that I was going to be his manager when he got out of. Uh, so me and him had a conversation about 3 weeks ago. So I'm definitely going to re-enter the music industry in a way that they're probably not going to understand. Uh, when you do 20 years in prison and you're reading all these books, you making notes and you're coming up with all these different ways to revolutionize whatever business it is that you're going into. So I do have some ideas for the music industry that nobody has touched on, and but you need cash in order to do the music business. I wouldn't do the music business again unless I had money.
Right, right. And I wanted, DJ Rebel to step in here and maybe ask you a final question about music also. So go ahead, Rebel, and then we'll basically close it out real quick. But I want you to stay on after the show, Rick, because I want to ask you a question. All right?
All right.
All right.
Simple and plain, man. Simple and plain. I just want to salute you, man, for being on the show. You are, like I said, a great inspiration to all of us. I speak for me entirely because, like I said, I've been following your career since day one, man. So there's a lot of people that want to be you and want to be like you. I seen in the chat room too, somebody out there put in the chat room that somebody should be sued because they took your name. I know you had some stuff behind that as well. We don't need to go into it. We'll talk about that on a later date. But what I want to say to you now is I'm glad that you say you're doing something with the independents, because that's what I do. I do the organic radio show, and we're trying to get some independents out there. So hopefully we can get you on the panel. Maybe you can do some judging or say yay or nay before they get their music out there to the masses, man, because you are an important inspiration to them. So I'm sure they would love to have you vote, say yay or nay before they put their stuff
And,
out
and
there.
and you can send me artists if you find an artist that are serious about their craft and they looking for somebody to help them. Me and Don is gonna be putting some stuff together, so we're gonna be looking for artists as well.
Oh man, you just made my whole night, man. So wait till this get recast. You about to get flooded.
Yeah, tell them to hit me up. We want that. We want all that smoke.
All right, you gonna get it too.
I can think of one female that I know that he knows as well. She raps and she sings.
Send her to me right now. James Fauntleroy from 1500 to Nothing grew up right down the street from me. So
All
you know who I'm talking about because she looked just like you.
right. You talk about LP Sings, my sister. Yeah, I'll send you the material. I got you.
that'd be cool. Send it to me. I need somebody hot.
That's easy. That's easy stuff right there, man. Wait till I pass this on because this is getting recasted, so you already know.
All right, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, Major, go ahead, man. Go ahead with your final thoughts.
Well, you already know what it is, man. Another edition of Major Key Monday. We did this on the Troy Graham Experience tonight. Shout out to Freeway Rick Ross, man. Great conversation. You know what I mean? I like to have these kind of interviews where it's not like on CNN or MSNBC. You know what I mean? It's a conversation. It's not about, let me drill you right now. Let me get all the answers right now. Like I'm never gonna talk to you again. Nah, it's family. Once you come over to these channels, you family. You know what I'm saying? So if you promoting fighters, I definitely you can see the name of my channel, Major Key Boxing. We try to highlight. I'm actually going to my friend's son's fight in a couple weeks, and he's only 14 years old. I highlight 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. I highlight 20-year-olds. We've done a bunch of amateur dudes, a bunch of professional dudes, and I don't know if you've seen any of the channel's work, but we've done stuff with Simon Brown, with Julian Jackson, Hakeem Rahman. You know what I'm saying? Like just a bunch of people. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, when you want your fighters to get promoted, make sure you come to Major Key Boxing first. You know what I mean? And let me interview them. Let me interview them and promote them. And then we just keep that relationship going from there. You know what I'm saying? It's free promo for you. You know what I mean? And it's free promo for me. You know what I mean? So that's all it is.
We family. Count it.
All right, brother, that's what I'm talking about. We family.
Yes.
All right, brother. I appreciate your time, though. Definitely.
All right. Let me jump up in here now and say I want to thank Rick Glaser. I reached out to him. He made this happen. I want to thank Rick Ross for his time. I think I froze up. Let me hold on for a second.
Nah, you good.
I'm good. Okay. I wasn't sure. Oh man, did he bounce off? I talked to him on the back end. But no, that's okay. That's okay. Because I just want to say, man, thank Rick Glaser. He made it happen. And Rick Ross, thank you for your time and your energy for coming through. Major Key. We always linked up. We always link. So anytime I do anything with boxing, that's all you, right? DJ
Yes,
Rebel, and anytime I do anything with music, that's all you. And then we come together as one, and we just do what we do, right?
Bing bong.
Can't stop God. Yeah,
absolutely.
Can't stop God.
And Dean White, 9 o'clock in the morning, Thursday.
Right. I'm doing the art for that right now after the show. I'm gonna do the Dean White's coming on. Help me out with the date because not in front of my face. I don't know.
So yeah,
13th.
it's the 13th this Thursday on Major Key Boxing, right? That's where it's going.
Dean White, yes, 13th of January, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And
right.
Okay, you want it over there or you want it over here? Which one?
I mean, come on, man. We could talk about this on the back end. Is the boxing going on my channel or?
Yeah. I was just thinking because I'm the early riser, which is why I said that. I get up at 6
no, but for something like that, I wake up, bro. Come on, man.
Okay, you got it. Then we're not going. You got it. It's going over there. So Dean White will be on Major Key Boxing this Thursday, which is the 13th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for anybody listening in the UK, I believe that's 2 p.m. your time. Okay, fam. 2 p.m. your time.
Check it out. What we're gonna do after that? Y'all gonna send me the material. I'm gonna chop it up. We're gonna put it back out as a recast, and I'm gonna put that music over top of it, so that way it's a little bit more.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I just want to big up everybody in the chat that stopped by Boxing Lounge. Tony Boswell, Lisa Bales, Ron Finkley, that guy, Thomas Jones, LaRon 9817, D Ray Productions, AOBs. I gotta learn how to pronounce that brother name. Big up yourself.
AOBs.
And Kia Green. That's a friend of mine. She stopped in as well. Thank you for that. And who am I missing? I missed a few. I said Tony Boswell. Oh, his
Like
brother here.
Dematar,
His
something
name
like
is
that.
huh?
Like
I didn't
somebody
hear
on
you,
this
Rebel.
shit, Dematar. Like I'm looking at the
Oh,
chat. Like
Dimitar. Yeah,
you
don't
got
forget about my boy
Ivy.
Dimitar, man. That's a day one for
Dimitri.
Major Key Boxing. Don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
about
yeah.
Dim.
You know, is it Dimitri? Is it
Yeah,
Dimitri
Dimitar.
or is it
Dimitar.
Demitar?
It's
Oh,
Dimitar.
okay, okay.
You got
Demitar,
Jermaine
big up.
Robinson
He's
up
a
there.
big supporter, man. He's a
Yeah, he's
big
from Europe.
supporter, and
He's from Europe. You know what I'm saying? But big supporter, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he's a
Shout out to him and Tony Boswell, of course. You know what I mean? And everybody else, of course. But you know, these are day
yeah,
ones that we talking about. You know?
right,
Yeah.
right. And you got girl behind the mic who's she showed up and she's a big supporter, you know, of Mark Nash also. So you know, yeah, you know, I want to shout out Mark Nash as well. He shared the show. So thank you, brother. You got
Hey,
you got my
Miss Robinson just said thank you guys for keeping it 100 as well. Shout out to you, Thunder. Hey, Thunder Robinson
okay.
in the
She's
chat
on
as
here.
well.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, Thunder.
shout out
Okay,
to her.
okay, Thunder's on here, and who did I miss? Oh, okay, K Suave. K Suave. Thank you for coming out, brother. There you go. Auntie Thunder in the house. She came up. She came on. She came on. And we got a few little things come. I told her I was gonna hold it till March, but I'm not gonna say nothing. But something big is coming. I got an announcement for y'all about Miss Thunder Robinson coming in March. I'm not gonna say anything until March. So bless up. Rebel, Major, thank you all for coming out, man. God
Major
bless. We're
Key.
gonna do this again.
So,
Yeah,
Rebel,
we're gonna.
expect a call from me. I'm gonna holler at you, man.
All
One
right,
love,
man.
y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night. I appreciate you having me on, Troy, of course.
Not a problem. Not a problem, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. So that's the way it is. That's the way it stays, brother. That's the way it stays.
No doubt, man. Have a great night, man.
All
Peace.
right, y'all. Mhm. Oh, before I do that, I'm gonna be the only one on here talking to myself because I forgot to do something, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh crap. All right, here we go. All right, thank y'all all again for coming out, man. Thank you again. Peace and blessings, man. Peace and blessings. Am I frozen again? It would seem so.